Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Sustainability, where we spill the tea on all things sustainability. I'm one of our hosts today. I'm Karina Taylor.
I'm Abby Bender. And with us today is one of our lovely social media volunteers, Manka.
Hello. I'm so excited to be on the podcast. I love working with you two. And yeah, I'm really excited about this.
So Menka's awesome. She's been helping us with social media. You may follow her, learn with Menka. So Menka's joining us today because we're just having a casual chat. We're just talking about the holidays. It's November, like mid-November when we're recording. And yeah, we're just here to chill, you know? We have our cozy sweaters on. We have our candles lit. I have an adult beverage with me because it's the holiday season. We can do that.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that.
Absolutely.
So how are you guys doing?
I'm doing so well. I have started to get out my Christmas supplies, which is very early for me. Normally I'm an after Thanksgiving gal, but my fiance loves Christmas, so I got this fake tree from my family's home, and I got out my box of like 7 ornaments.
Yeah, I'm an after Thanksgiving girl too.
I know. For us, Thanksgiving is like in like a week and a half almost. Manka's Thanksgiving has already passed. She's been through it. She's through the hurdles.
Yeah, like anytime I hear you guys talking about Thanksgiving, I'm like, ours already happened. So I'm totally a November 1st, let's start decorating right away kind of girly. We haven't yet, just because my birthday just passed and we wanted to decorate the house differently for that.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Our favorite holiday.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I have a tree somewhere on the premises. I don't know. But I haven't even thought about Christmas yet. I've just been thinking about Thanksgiving. And it's been a little stressful, but it's okay. We're going to get through this.
But yeah, now that it's done, we are ready to get out the tree. We're ready to decorate. We're all so excited about this. We're not even Christian, by the way. We are Hindu, and we totally also celebrate Christmas. We put up trees and everything because it's fun.
Yeah, I'm not religious, but I still do the Christmas thing. I don't know. I don't know. I guess sometimes I forget that it's a religious holiday, but I'm just here for fun.
Yeah, I am religious, but very not like super crazy religious. Very, very slim, very small, very small. But sometimes I do like going to church around Christmas time because let me tell you, the songs really hit. They hit. They hit.
Okay, so when we say songs, are we talking about like Christmas carols, or is there church-specific music? I have no idea what.
There's like church a lot at depending on what church you go to. There's like hymns and stuff. Like the church I grew up in, we had like a whole hymnal book. And I'm not Catholic, but I have a really good friend who's Catholic who always says like going to Christmas mass is one of her favorite things because like the songs and the hymns they sing are like off the charts. It's also like a time where a lot of faith like really brings in their people, so it's like really good time.
See, I've only been to Spanish churches, so I've never like really been to, at least Catholic churches. I've never really been to like English churches. I don't know. It's totally different, you know?
Yeah, that's so valid. My perspective is from a white person's church.
I've only been to Hispanic churches, and when I was working in Little Haiti, to black churches. And let me tell you, if I grew up in a black church, I'd be so religious. They have DJs in churches. It was so fun because I used to work for an organization that was associated with the church. It was so fun. Even as a non-religious person, I was like, give me the Sunday school kids. Give it to me. It was so fun. It was like a party. It was great.
No, I would go too, and I'm not even Christian. Like churches be popping off. You have a DJ?
Yes,
that's crazy.
They had a DJ every week, and they had a pause because I went while it was. I was working there during COVID, and I was like, damn it, I missed out on the DJs. But even without the DJ, it was so fun. They were singing, they were dancing. It was so fun. Very different from the churches I grew up in.
So, Manka,
Mm-hmm.
what was your Thanksgiving like? I've never experienced a Canadian Thanksgiving.
Honestly,
Probably because I'm American.
Fair. Totally fair.
But I want to know what it's like.
No, totally fair. Our Thanksgiving is in October. It's usually the second week of October. And it's really similar. Like, people also eat turkey. We're really thankful. My family's vegetarian, so we don't eat turkey. But we kind of just, it's another holiday for us, but we do try to like all eat like dinner together no matter what it is. And there's like 7 people in my family. So we usually eat in like, waves rather than all together. So that's something we definitely try to do. And then, bring up stories and talk to each other. So yeah, that's what I did for Thanksgiving this year. What about you guys? Do you have any fun plans?
My Thanksgiving, I actually want to ask you about like your vegetarian Thanksgiving because I don't eat meat. I occasionally will eat seafood or dairy, like outside the house. My family has a turkey and they have a lechon because we're Latin. And so my grandma will make like a different like dish for me, like a seafood dish. I would prefer to not eat meat or to not eat like any animal products, but that's kind of like the happy medium that I've gotten. And it's like, what are you eating on Thanksgiving? Because I want to bring something this year. I want to bring something vegetarian.
That's a good question. Again, we've never celebrated like a traditional Thanksgiving, but my sister and I, because this year we're really getting into fitness and trying to like get our protein levels up, which is so hard when you're vegetarian. We've been adding a lot of like soy into our foods and a lot of like, you know, TVP and things like that. So things I really like she makes a really good like burrito bowl. And it's so tasty. And she's also made like quesadillas again with fake meat. Amazing. I'm trying to think. I'm like, what else have we made? Because we repeat a lot of things because they're good. We don't need to like perfect them.
If it's not broken, do not fix it.
Agreed. So I think honestly, if you add soy or soy chunks to anything, it just makes it taste better. We even make a pasta that it's already chickpea pasta, it's already high in protein, but we add like soy chunks to it and it tastes even better and it has even more protein and it tastes quote unquote more meaty since it has that extra little bit to it.
That's cool. I'm still figuring out what I'm gonna bring because I'm sure people are gonna like eat the vegetarian thing I bring, and I want it to be palatable for like me who doesn't want to eat meat, and for them who do eat meat, and they think of me as like very central to the holidays. So, what about you, Abby? Any plans for Thanksgiving?
My toxic trait is that I love eating meat. I am that girl that takes a full turkey leg and starts eating it like it's a freaking mutton, like in the olden
No, I get
times.
it. That was me. That was me growing up.
I love it so much.
So, no judgment. I get it.
Yeah, I am always out here trying to get my hands on a turkey leg. I'll like eat one turkey leg and then I'll be like, I'm stuffed. But most likely I'll be going to Portland to see my family, my mom, my stepdad, and then if I can get the time, we'll go down like a day early and have Thanksgiving with my dad and his parents.
I am going to 3 Thanksgivings. And I was invited to 4. I'm turning down 1.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, does that include a Friendsgiving? Because I was also invited to
No.
a Friendsgiving. Oh my
No, it doesn't. So like my boyfriend has divorced parents, and so we're starting off the day at his mom's place, and then we're driving up to like North Miami, and we're seeing his dad, and then we're coming back down to my aunt's house for my Thanksgiving. And my mom got invited to a Thanksgiving for her work that they invited all of us. They invited the whole family. They invited me and my boyfriend. And I had to say no to that. And because it was just 4 Thanksgivings. That's too much. Just too much.
All in a day too.
In one day.
Spread
Yes.
over 2
It's
days.
so hers, my mom's work starts at 2 p.m. And then my boyfriend's mom starts at 3 p.m. And then after that, we're going to his dad and then to my family. And I'm like, I can't do the 2 p.m. I will be there 15 minutes. It's on the other side of town. Oh my God.
That's like
It would have
literally a
been way too
sitcom
much.
plot. I've literally seen sitcom episodes where it's like, we have all of these Thanksgivings to go to.
Oh my God. And they're all like not close to each other at all. So we're going kind of like in like a big triangle. And thank God my boyfriend and I live 10 minutes away. Because can you imagine like him picking me up, and imagine we live like 30 minutes away and then having to go in the opposite direction and then going north and south and
Okay, so do
oh
you have
my
to
God.
bring like four different things to each of these events?
I am bringing something to all of them because I'm the only like non-meat eater in all of these scenarios, aside from my parents and my sister. They like my household doesn't eat meat, but everyone we're in a sea of meat eaters, and so I do want to bring something to all of them. So that's why I'm kind of like, oh, I have to bring something that three audiences are going to like.
Mm.
So
So you think you'll make like a bunch of one thing to bring to each one?
yeah, yeah, because it's just that's too much like brain power. Like I couldn't figure that out.
You are going to be interacting with so many different people. How are you planning to engage with all of them? Like, what do you talk about?
Politics. No. No.
That's a dicey topic.
I'm sure it'll come up, but I'm not gonna encourage it. I feel like I remember last year we were talking about like in our group chat, this is before Mecca joined the team. We are talking about like, oh my God, someone said this misconception, someone said that misconception. And I'm already preparing to like not have answers because you don't necessarily need to have rebuttals. We're not in a debate, but I am starting to get mentally prepared for uncomfortable conversations that may come up, especially around the environment, because that's what we're talking about. And I don't know about you, but my family, they see me and they think of me as the environmental person. So anything that is in that realm, in that topic, they bring up to me and they're like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Or a lot of people have a lot of opinions about environmentalism, and that's great. I want everyone to have an opinion about environmentalism. But it's hard when someone comes up to you with something that is misinformed or is kind of not really getting to the point. So, like, how do you guys approach that?
Exactly, because then it's like, oh, do I really want to put a damper on this meal?
Yeah, I know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you want to be hospitable, you want to be social, like, follow social norms and not start a fight. But it's also a little weird because, like, EVs are not the solution, but everyone thinks that they are. And that's going to come up for sure.
I tried to have that exact conversation with my
Hmm.
sister because she just got an EV. And she's like, it's still good for the environment. I was like, okay, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those times of the year where you're like, I really need to pick my
Hmm.
battles. And like, it's so hard.
Well, let's talk a little bit about EVs because the audience might not know like our opinions on EVs and things like that. So, what do you guys think when people come
Yeah,
up to you?
and these are like each of our individual
Yeah.
opinions,
Hmm.
not like sustainability's
Yeah,
opinion.
as non-experts on electric vehicles.
I think they are a good tool. I don't think they're the ultimate solution.
Yeah, I agree.
I remember when they first came out, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, we've always talked about this. Like, why can't cars run on electricity? This is so cool. And it was marketed as, oh my God, this is like the environmental solution. This is going to revolutionize the world and everything. And then, when you hear about their charging and all of that stuff, and you realize, okay, that also uses fossil fuels, or you talk about their batteries, that's also not great for the environment. Then you start thinking, you're like, okay, is this the solution? However, fossil fuels are also not the solution. So, as you said, it's fine for now, but it's not the solution.
Yeah, like there's more things we need to do. It can't we can't be entering this like, oh my god, I got an EV, I'm done.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear because I think EVs are a good place to start and they're a bad place to end. And so I'm worried that people are going to be like, "Oh, we have EVs. We don't need to make walkable cities. We don't need public transport. We have electric vehicles." And I think as an individual, if you want to reduce your fossil fuel intake, yeah, an electric vehicle will probably be the way to do it, but that's also not you can't you can't be like individualistically fighting this crisis, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like we like as Americans or as North Americans I should say, because I'm assuming Canada is similar. We have a very individualistic view of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we're approaching this with EVs, in my opinion. It's like, oh, helping individuals do what they can to reduce their fossil fuel intakes. But simultaneously, if everyone were to do that, our grids can't handle that, you know? So it's only the solution for a small amount. Like, it only works if a small amount of people use it. And I think that's kind of backwards.
Yeah. I do want to hype up my mom and my stepdad. They both have EVs, but they charge their car primarily with the solar panel attached to their roof. And I think
Ooh.
it is cool.
That is very cool. See, like, I do think EVs can be part of the solution. You just can't end there. Yeah.
I was reading about like using organic matter, like dead leaves and stuff, as fuel for things. I was going to talk about it on TikTok, so I was like doing a little bit of research on that. Obviously, you don't get a ton of energy from that, but because we have so much organic waste, I feel like that could be something we should look into, or at least people look into for that's a good source of energy. And I know there is research being done there.
That is super cool.
There's like so many things that should be researched, but like will ultimately be blocked by big oil because that would make them lose money. And we are in a capitalist society.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's how you put a bummer on Thanksgiving.
So we just showed you what not to do.
Yeah, don't get all pessimistic like that. It'll really ruin the evening.
Well, I guess if someone brings up EVs, I think a good diplomatic way of not shutting it down, because I don't ever want to shut down environmental conversations, but if you know the other person isn't ready to have a thorough conversation, a good approach is, I think they're a good place to start, but more needs to be done. They're not a good place to end. I think that you wouldn't start an argument like that. And you also wouldn't get into the depressing capitalism conversation.
Yeah.
Unless they wanted it. And then, they asked for it. But you're giving them what they want. If they keep prodding you.
I think one of the conversations I get into, and this is unwantedly, this is other people saying this to me. And now that we've brought up, us not eating meat, being vegetarian, the amount of people, and I'm sure you face this too, being like, so why not? Or, well, you're eating vegetables, so you're eating all the food that the meat's supposed to eat. And I'm like, excuse you? Or how do you know the plant's not feeling pain? And I'm like, I didn't invite this conversation. I'm not one to be like, everyone needs to be vegetarian or vegan or whatever. You do you. I am doing me.
I know. It's like a lot of people. It's like a lot of people are fighting this this vegan that doesn't exist. Like, oh, you guys are always putting it in my face. I'm like, I don't know who this person you're talking about is, but it's not me.
If you're seeing it, the algorithm is showing it to you for a reason.
Usually I don't engage. I'm like, hey, but if someone engages with me, I'm like, today is not your day. Get ready to be destroyed. Because I'm prepared.
I feel like there's also so many like factual and valid reasons to like not eat meat that I'm like I eat meat and I'm like, I understand logically why other people don't. Like, I don't understand where the confusion comes from, and that's where I have a hard time when like tough conversations come up when I don't understand why they are getting it. I'm like, where's the disconnect here?
I know, especially because when it really comes down to it, the reason I don't eat meat is because I don't want to. And for some reason, that's not enough of an answer for some people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of times people are like, is it a religious reason? And I'm like, it was initially, but I've continued throughout my life because it's my choice. I just don't want to.
I think it's honestly because for a lot of people, eating meat wasn't a choice. It's just something they did. And then you come across someone who made another choice, and it's almost like they didn't. I don't know. I think for a lot of people, it's not an intentional choice. And I wish that is what I'm trying to say is that I think a lot of people, for when they come across someone like me, or they have a conversation, they're kind of facing the reality that they didn't choose to eat meat. And it's like, you can choose to eat meat. That's fine. You know, I would rather you eat meat because you chose it versus you, it's just something you've always done, you know?
Yeah. Like, I definitely enjoy eating meat, but I've definitely been exploring like meat alternatives recently. Like, we just went to a tasting for our wedding coming up, and we had this amazing like caramelized tofu, and I was like, this is the best tofu I've ever had. I was like, this is so good.
Tofu is a beautiful thing once you learn how to cook it.
No, even all like the vegan restaurants that are able to recreate the meals almost perfectly, amazing. And going to any of those like vegan restaurants, I'm like, is this what it feels like to eat meat? You can actually look at the whole menu. It's so overwhelming but amazing. I'm like, I have never experienced this in my life, and wow, is this what privilege feels like?
Polenta is from Toronto, I
Mhm.
think. And we
I
have it
love
here in
Planta.
Miami. I love Planta. I love so good. I don't know if they
What
have
is
any.
planta?
Planta is a vegan restaurant, and they have
Okay.
locations in like, they have one in Chicago, they have one in the Bethesda, DC area, they have a few in Florida.
They have a
They
few in
started in
Toronto.
Toronto. I don't know if they have any in your part of the country, Abby, but oh my
That's
god,
okay.
it's so good. It's so
Hmm.
good. And shout out to Vegan Cuban Cuisine in Miami. I love them.
Ooh.
And they just do Cuban food that's vegan, and oof, I love it. I love it so much.
Amazing. Yeah, I a friend took me to a vegan restaurant recently because she's vegan, and I was like, oh, let's go somewhere you know you can definitely eat something. I'm fine with whatever. And so we went there, and I like had a burrito bowl or something that was vegan. I was like, this is so good.
I remember one time I was in a restaurant, and I was kind of in a like, I was being like very, very vegan for a long time. And I was in a restaurant, and I was like, I'll just have that, that. And I was like, oh, wait, no, that's all real meats. I can't
Oops.
order this. Like, I was like,
Oops.
oh, wait, what? Or like,
Like
okay,
a
because like
doctor
some of
problem.
these, well, yeah, because like I've gotten so used to like meat alternatives being available, which is great, to meat alternatives being available, that like sometimes this happened recently too. I was getting these like frozen Jamaican beef patties, and I put it in my cart, and I'm like going to check out. I was like, oh my god, this is the real thing. I have to get the Beyond version. Like, I had to put it back. One day it's gonna bite me in the butt, and I'm gonna bring home some meat, and I'll be like, oh, damn it.
This tastes a lot more real than it should.
Let me tell you something that happened last Christmas, or the Christmas before. It was 2 Christmases ago. My mom bought some food from an Asian restaurant, and it was like,
Mhm.
I want to say they were like little dumplings or something. And they gave her the wrong ones. And they were pork, and I was eating it all night, and I was like, oh my god, this is the best fake meat I've ever had. This is so realistic. This is so
Oh
good. I
no.
ate so many of them. Thinking that was like, I've only eaten meat like maybe 2 or 3 times, all by accident, since I stopped eating meat like 7, 8 years ago. And I
Mhm.
was like so convinced that, because I knew my mom had ordered it, and I knew she would never order meat, because she also doesn't eat it. But I didn't know that they had made a mistake. And I was like, damn, this is delicious. And then I was like, no, no.
How
Once
did you
I
guys
found
find
out the
out?
truth, um, I was telling my parents, I was like, did you have those dumplings? They were so good. I couldn't believe how realistic they were. And mom's like, no, 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 that was the wrong one. You were not supposed to be eating them. Apparently she had like made an announcement and like said
Oh
it, but I
no.
didn't hear her, or I wasn't in the room or something. I had no idea.
You were in a dumpling
I
haze.
was in a dumpling.
Mhm.
But I was just like texting like the group chat. I was like, oh my god, guys, are not gonna believe what happened. I ate meat for the first time in years, and the worst part, it was so good.
I have a similar story. I was at like a hall party, and there's buttered chicken and there's butter paneer. So they look the same. It's just the label that's different. And so I was like, oh, this is definitely like butter paneer. So I took some, and I was like, yo, this is so good. Like, this is really fire butter paneer. So I had the whole thing, and they didn't have a label on it. So I go back to get more, And then I see butter chicken and I'm like, oh no. One, I ate meat accidentally, and two, I liked it. Oh no.
I know. It's like traitor. My body should have known. It should have rejected it. It should have broken into hives.
Yeah, this is for all the people that ask me, so what happens if you eat meat? Absolutely nothing. I digest it and it comes out.
You forgive yourself and you move on.
Oh my gosh. So, speaking of foods around Christmas, what are some vegetarian foods you make around Christmas?
Kind of whatever. I mean, we do the lechon again. That's like lechon is like so in Hispanic cultures, or at least most Latin American cultures, you celebrate on the 24th, and it's called Nochebuena, and then 25th you just chill, and you do like a lechon, and you do it in like la cajachina, and la cajachina. I don't know why it has nothing to do with China, and or maybe it does, but I don't know. But it's like this big wooden box that you put a whole pig in it, and you roast it over a long time. It's delicious. It's so good. And so we usually have something like that. Like my grandparents will bring it, and then for me, it's just kind of like whatever I'm in the mood for. I would love to have some sort of vegetarian tradition so I don't have to think every year and be creative every year. And so, like I would like to have a food that to me feels like Christmas, but it just tends to be something different. I just, find a recipe online and I bring it. So I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I'm trying to think. I'm like, we don't really have any like traditional Christmas foods. Like, honestly, we're just making Indian food the same day, and everything we make is vegetarian anyway. So that is probably what we're eating that day. It's nothing really new. But I know what you mean. I kind of want to start a tradition, and I want to start like a specific food that you make at that time. And super weird, but like, I know eggnog is a thing, and I've always wanted to try it because people have said it's really good. I eat eggs occasionally, so I'm like, it's fine. But what are your thoughts? Like, have you guys had eggnog? Is it good or is it like overhyped?
I've never had eggnog.
I have never had eggnog because as a child, I thought all eggnog was alcoholic.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize people were just adding alcohol to it. And now as an adult, I don't even like alcohol. And now no one's going to serve, like at parties and stuff, everyone is like going to put alcohol in it. And I'm like, I don't really need it. I'm not really craving eggnog.
Alrighty, so nobody on this podcast has ever had an eggnog. Cool.
No, I'm sorry, you asked the wrong people.
Yeah.
My boyfriend loves eggnog, and he is convinced that one day I'm going to try. I very rarely eat eggs. I don't too often. But he's like, I'm going to go to a farm. I'm going to find some happy chickens and get some happy chicken eggs. I'm going to make you eggnog one year. But like, a raw egg doesn't sound so appealing to me.
Oh, it's with a raw egg?
I think so.
Oh,
Hold up. Google.
no, raw eggs are not
let me
appealing.
let me ask him. Okay, yes, it has raw egg. I asked Danny, my boyfriend, because he makes like all these drinks and stuff, and he likes to like make drinks and things. So I figured he knew, and he did know. But what I am trying to make this year is coquito, which is Puerto Rican eggnog. But there's no egg in that either. I don't know why it's called Puerto Rican eggnog when there's no egg in it. I really don't know.
It's probably like just like the most similar drink.
Probably. And I've been asking like all the Puerto Ricans I know, because I'm not Puerto Rican. And I'm like, what is your coquito recipe? Because I want to make a plant-based version. And it's a lot of like cream of coconut, like I guess like Coco Lopez, like what you would put in like a pina colada. And it's a lot of coconut milk, a lot of evaporated milk, condensed milk, and there's evaporated oat milk and condensed oat milk that I discovered last year. And so I have some in my pantry, and I really want to make it vegan. And what I've heard from the people I've been asking is that you kind of just eyeball everything and you make it your own. Like some people put it has rum in it, but some people will add like brandy or amaretto, or there's like cinnamon, and some people do like different spices, just something kind of warm and something that goes good with coconut. It's like a very heavy coconut drink. And so I would really like to experiment because I've only had coquito a few times. It's not my favorite. It's really sweet. No disrespect to any of the Puerto Ricans. I'm sure your coquito's great. I'm sure it's delicious. But I want to find a recipe that I really like that feels like me. And so that's my goal for this holiday season.
Listeners, if you have any coquito recipes that are vegan, let us know.
Yes, listeners, if you've made a plant-based coquito, hit us up because I really I really want to make some.
I feel like you totally can though, because if milk is the only thing that makes it not vegan, there's so many like plant-based milks you can buy.
Yeah, I think that one would be a fairly easy swap, but I haven't tried it because like evaporated milk and condensed milk, I know they're different. I don't know how they're different.
Well, obviously one's evaporated and one's condensed. I don't know.
So Abby, what are your Christmas meals?
We we don't really. My family's like super laid back around Christmas. Like when I go to my fiance's families for Christmas, they like have like a whole party like for the like Christmas Eve with like a bunch of their neighbors and friends and stuff, and I'm like, there's a lot of people here. And then because like when I'm at home, we're just like chilling. We're like really laid back. Like we probably have more food at Thanksgiving because there's always more food at Thanksgiving, but like in general, we make cinnamon rolls sometimes, but my mom and I aren't super crafty, so often it's store bought. And something we do make around the holidays all the time, not like all the time, but it's like a special holiday thing. It's a cookie. They're called rosettes, and you make them. It's a like an old Swedish or Dutch dessert, which I'm not really sure how my family got into because we're neither of those. And but essentially, have you ever had like funnel cake? Yeah, it's kind of like the same batter when you're making it, and then you take like these like metal shapes and like dunk them in oil, and then dunk them in the batter, and then dunk them back in the oil, and they let the frying makes it like come off of the shape, and then you have like this really light, delicate like snowflake like thing, and then so it's just like, and then you like put powdered sugar on it, and it's like delicious. Chef's kiss.
That sounds so good.
That sounds delicious.
So is it like thinner and lighter than a funnel cake? Because to me that sounds a lot like a funnel cake.
Yes, it's like thinner, and like if you do it right, they're kind of like crispy. Whereas funnel cakes in my head are a little like thicker and more doughy.
Mm-hmm. They're like denser.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but like if you would pour the oil directly into pour the batter directly into the oil, I'm pretty sure you'd get a similar consistency to funnel cake, but it's like the process of like dipping this iron and like getting just like a thin layer into the oil that makes it much thinner.
That sounds so good. So Menka, you said you were Hindu. Do you guys have any winter holidays? Because like, our audience isn't just like Christian.
No, fair. So we had Diwali earlier this month. So I guess that's our more wintry holiday, even though it's like typically end of October, early November, depending on the year. It also changes. That one's like a celebration of like light and like, light over darkness and goodness wins kind of thing. So for that, it is not the most environmentally friendly holiday since there's a lot.
Is that the one? Is that the one with all the colors?
No, that's Holi.
Oh my gosh, really calling myself out right
That's okay,
here.
that's okay. That happens in like the beginning of the year. So that's usually around like March, I think, is when Holi is. Super cold in Canada, so we celebrate it, but we're freezing. But in India, like, it's wild, and I've always wanted to be there for like one Holi at least, because the last time I was there for Holi was like when I was 3 years old.
That is so cool. I remember so back in college, I had to do a project on Hinduism, and I went out to a Hindu temple and I like interviewed people and stuff like that. And one of these people at the temple, he told me, if you want to party, become a Hindu. He said that these are not my thoughts. This is what I've been told. You can deny or confirm whatever you like, Menka. But he was like, we have a lot of celebrations, and he showed me the October calendar. It was packed, and he was so cool. Everyone at the temple was super cool, super nice, and
Mhm.
yeah, I always remember that he's just Tim's sake. If you would like to party, join us.
Honestly, he's not wrong. Like, there's always something happening. And you're right, October is a very packed month because, like, the beginning of October, we have Navratri, which lasts for 9 days. And then closer to the end of October, we have Diwali. And there's a couple of other days in the middle that are other days that some people celebrate, some people don't. But yeah, October is usually a very packed month. That is the party month ish. But you're not supposed to, like, drink and stuff, but more like, non drinking party.
Which is still fun.
Agreed.
And then we have New Year's. I don't know what I'm doing for New Year's. To me, New Year's is just you're just having fun. I'm in Miami. I'm probably gonna go. I'll probably go to a club somewhere. To be honest, as I should.
I'm actually normally I don't really do anything on New Year's because unpopular opinion, I think fireworks are kind of boring.
I hate fireworks.
Okay, cool.
I hate fireworks. Like
don't hate
I'm
them.
the odd person out. I love fireworks, but I totally understand they're not good for the environment. We can do drone shows instead.
I just like get bored. I'm like okay, lights in the air, okay, whatever. But I am really excited because I'm in a new apartment and there's like a roof that I have access to, and I have like a really nice view of the city. So I have a feeling that I'll be able to like see a lot of fireworks going on, but that's yet to be confirmed because I've only been here a few months. So
I'm gonna go on a little firework rant. I'm gonna get a little personal. I have really sensitive ears. Everything is too loud for me. Everything is too loud for me. Even when I'm like listening to my headphones or in my car, everything to other people is super, super low, but to me, it's just fine. And so when I was a little kid, fireworks would make me cry a lot because they're so loud and they were so stressful to me when I was really little. And now as an adult, they just hurt my ears. And I have 3 dogs who don't like fireworks. And so it's always a hassle because even like I'm thinking about that, like, oh, I might like go to a club. I'm like, I might not be able to because I would have to take care of my dogs because they get so stressed. And I could imagine other animals also get stressed too by these giant explosions. One thing I wanted to bring up because we're talking about New Year's and things. So the holidays are like rife with overconsumption. So are you guys trying to do anything? I am always thinking about that when it comes to like my everyday life. Like, how do I not overconsume things? So how do you guys approach the holidays with that in mind?
I love giving gifts like during the holidays, and I've started trying to do this more where unless it's like something really specific somebody wants or something somebody wants or there's something really specific I want to get someone, I try to like find unique things for friends at like thrift stores and like make unique personalized gifts. And like I'm really into crafts, so like making people things and giving more of a handmade touch to presents and thoughtfulness.
That's a talent. That is so cool.
No, that's super, super cute. I think it was a grade 10 or grade 11. One of my friends made me this like handmade, she made these like puzzle pieces. And she's like, these are like the things I think of you. I think of when I think of you. And they were on the puzzle pieces. And I still have it somewhere in my room somewhere. And it's one of my like favorite gifts ever. Like she spent no money on it except her own like, hard work, blood, sweat, and tears.
I love that.
But yeah, for me, currently don't have a job. So I'm more like, we're trying not to spend too much money. My cousin's birthday just passed. And so me and my sister, again, we both don't have jobs. So we were like, hey, why don't we give her something homemade? And we made her this like little vending machine from like a shoebox. And we put in like little chocolates in there that she likes. So I was like, that's a cute thing to do. And overconsumption, you're right. I think everything I'm seeing online right now is like, oh, this advent calendar, that advent calendar. Oh, get this makeup thing, get that thing. And I'm like, I have enough makeup. Like, I look in my room and I'm in my washroom and I'm like, you know what? I don't need more eyeshadows. I don't need more brushes. I don't need any of these things. Do I want them? Sure, but do I need them? No. And I think that's how I approach it right now is I'm like, do I need it or do I want it?
Yes. Oh my gosh, being so intentional with like what you are purchasing or what you're asking for like the holidays, because especially with like right now is like the prime time where companies are trying to sell you stuff with like Black Friday and like just like pushing out deals. and like they're just like buy, 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 and you really just need to like take a step back and be like, do I actually want this, or did they have a really good marketing team?
Yeah, exactly. No, and I am definitely really bad with this. If you could see my room, there are books everywhere. And I have this year I put a ban on myself. I have not bought that many books because I'm like, I don't need to. I recently bought like a Kobo e-reader. I'm like, if I really want a new book, this is what I'm gonna buy it on. We're not gonna buy physical books. We're trying to be better than that. So I think it just takes you recognizing that, as you said, you're doing these things and intentionally making the choice to do something that's not that.
And I think it's very I think it's funny how we have like the holidays and have all this overconsumption, and then we have the new year, and a lot of people do spring cleaning, where so you consume so much in a small amount of time, like the holidays, and then shortly after you get rid of a lot of stuff. And I just think that's a very interesting dichotomy to have. And so
So close together too.
it almost feels
Mhm.
intentional.
Throw away all your things, make room for the shiny new ones.
So I don't have the biggest bedroom, and I don't have that much storage and things. And so I'm really trying to be mindful of what I bring into my life, because I don't like the clutter. And sometimes a lot of physical objects kind of overwhelm me. And so here's my thing with gifts. I wish people didn't give them too much, at least with me, because I know for some people they love gift giving, but it's kind of like I don't want the things. I don't have space for the things, you know?
So, what would you prefer somebody give you? Like, if they wanted to give you something?
Something that I need, or something that I can eat,
Okay.
or consume. But like mostly
Okay.
eating, because like,
It's okay, I love eating too. I
yeah,
totally get it.
yeah. Because like the only other consumable things are like perfumes or makeup, but those take years to consume. So I would want something that's a little bit quicker to consume. And also, I like consumables because if you don't like something, you can't, like, if I gave you like a blanket or something, and I go into your house and then I don't see the blanket, I'm like, did you not like it? But if I gave you something consumable, you could just say, even if you didn't like it, oh, I ate it. Whatever. You gave it to someone. Like, it just, I don't know, it gives people an out. Like, you're not really looking for something. I don't know, I think consumables are the way to go. That's how I try to do things with my family.
Okay, so how do your families like prepare gift giving and stuff? Because now I'm thinking about it. My family, we like give each other specific lists, and we're like, these are the things I want, and like that would be such an easy way to be like, I only want consumables, I only want X, Y, and Z. Please don't give me these other things. I don't want them.
That's a really good idea, because then, like, I'm talking about overconsumption and stuff. If you are giving something that someone has asked for, then they will use it, and that's not really, to me, considered overconsumption. So,
Yeah.
For
hot tip.
me, I'm not gonna lie to you. I anytime someone asks me what I want, I've usually bought whatever I want for myself. So I'm not good at making a wish list because I usually have.
Okay. Here's a
Mhm.
hot tip.
Yes.
Here's a hot tip for autumn
Hmm.
slash winter birthdays. Don't buy anything for yourself in those months. That's like a rule I've had. I mean, I've had to break it this year because I was moving and had to buy a bunch of random stuff. But normally, I don't buy stuff that I just want like after October, because then it's my birthday, then it's Christmas, and
No, that's smart.
and
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
true.
I
That's a
just
good
write it
point.
down and I give it to my mom as a list. Hot take: don't
Very
buy
good
things for
point.
yourself if you know holidays where gifts are given are
Smart.
coming.
Yeah, what we do is if we're giving gifts, usually we don't even have gifts. And if we do give gifts, like we don't even wrap them because that's too much. We literally just put it in a bag, put some tissue paper that we already have at home, and give it to each other and be like, don't rip the bag, don't rip the tissue paper, we're gonna put it back in the basement. If that, and if anything, we just give each other like money. Like that is what we do. We're like, spend it on whatever you want, eat food, whatever you want to do. So that's currently how we go about things. It's kind of boring, I know, but
No, but that's great.
I think it's, I just reacted how I did. I was like, oh my God, when you said you barely wrap things, because my mom goes crazy with wrapping things. She like wraps everything and then she like labels it from from, not, she doesn't do everything. Like, we still get like presents from Santa, but like we also will get presents from like random celebrities that my mom has just like written that they're from. Like my mom one year was like, this gift's from the Obamas. And, or like other random like make believe characters. Like she's like, this one's from the Tooth Fairy.
I love that. I want to meet your mom so bad. Everything you've told me about her is amazing.
Is it themed? Like, does the gift have something to do with like the celebrity that gave it to you? Because I would love to know how this works.
Sometimes it does, because one time I got a gift from Bernie Sanders, quote quote, aka my mom, and it was like Bernie Sanders' book.
Okay.
And
I thought that was gonna be the mittens from the meme.
no, it was his book.
That is so cute. I love that. Last year for Christmas, my grandparents went on a cruise, and they went on a cruise with like a roller coaster on it. I believe it's only one cruise in the world, but with a roller coaster on it. But I'm not going to mention it for no reason other than it's not the place. And he took some photos, like the photos that you buy on this cruise, and that was his Christmas card to everyone, just him on a little roller coaster. It was so cute. Oh my God. But yeah, in my house, I used to do that, like asking for things when I was a kid, and now I don't. And so some people give me money, and some people just kind of guess what I want. But I wish,
Yeah.
No,
the lists are so good, because
they are good.
I like personally hate getting gifts that I love the act of receiving gifts when someone like puts effort into it, and it's like, even if it's not something I asked for, but they're like clearly like put a lot of effort into it, and I feel like I like, that's very kind of them. But if it's just something that I guessed and they're like, here you go, and I'm like, what do I do with this?
You're a female in your 20s.
Literally.
Something they like.
Literally. They're like, and I don't wear a lot of makeup, so like when people gift me makeup, I'm like, thanks. This will expire before I use it.
To collect dust with the rest of your makeup you don't wear.
Or re-gift.
Yeah, I totally get the saving wrapping though. I have like a whole pile in my craft area dedicated to like bags for Christmas and like other gifts and like tissue paper. So totally on board.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we reuse the bags. And that's very eco-friendly.
Do you have a Christmas tree? Do you get it?
Oh.
Do you use a Christmas tree?
Are we going into the Christmas tree debate? The great Christmas tree debate?
I like don't have enough actual facts about this. I just, because I know there's like arguments on both sides, but I want to know what you guys do, what you guys use.
We have like a fake one that we put up every year, but it's the same fake one that we put up every year. But in 8th grade, there's this kid in my class that brought like a real Christmas tree for our class that year, and the entire room smelled like pine for like the next few months. It was great, but I was like, I don't know if this is completely necessary. So I've experienced both.
I have a fake Christmas tree. So I used to have one from when I was like from before my parents had me. And then we had that all the way till I was like in high school. And then it broke one day. And we used the same one for like, it must have been like 16, 17 years. Because I remember being like 15-ish. No, I think it was actually closer to like 20 when it broke. So they probably had it for like 20 plus years. And then for a few years, we did the real Christmas trees.
Did you like chop down your own tree?
And oh my God, they smell so good.
Lot?
No.
Okay, you know what? As soon as I said it, I was like, my Pacific Northwest lens is shining a little too bright right now.
I didn't even clock it. I was like, yeah, Christmas trees grow here all the time. Of course you can go out and chop your own tree.
I live in the tropics.
You don't want to go chop down a palm tree?
I had a Christmas palm tree one year. and then we had a palm tree in like a planter, and then we put little ornaments on it because that's what we grow here. And then last year Yeah, it's funny. Not Menka, Marg. I had sent her a picture of some palm trees, and she was like, "I've never lived somewhere with palm trees," and that's so funny because all I know is palm trees. And when people send me pictures of their trees like turning red and yellow in the fall, I'm like, so American. How cute.
It is the best time ever. I'm not gonna lie to you. Those 2 weeks when the leaves turn colors and driving around is just so much fun because you just see the colors.
Yeah, and then at least I don't know about where Minka is, but where I am, it'll like look really pretty, and then suddenly it'll just be gross everywhere because everything will be like sopping wet and like falling, and I'm like, the sun is setting at 4 p.m. and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't have seasons here. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. I thought we were gonna get rid of that, but I don't know.
yeah. I
I
literally Googled
swear.
today. I was like, isn't daylight savings time ending permanently? And it was like, there's been a lot of discussion, but nothing's been really set in
I
stone. And I was like,
swear. I don't know if it's a Mandela effect or something, but I swear, like 2 years ago was supposed to be the last daylight savings time. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do. But I feel like
Yes.
they say this every year now.
What happened to that?
From what I know in our time zone, because you're also EST,
Mm-hmm.
it's Toronto, Montreal, and New York that make this decision. And every year, one of those places doesn't agree. So they continue to do it. All three of them have to agree for it to stop.
yeah,
That's what I've been
I
told.
think I think the science says that staying in standard time is better for our body, but
Hmm.
I can't stand like we're in standard time right now. That's why it's so
Mm-hmm.
dark out. I hate
Yeah.
it.
I like the daylight savings time. I like when the day ends later. Yeah, like
Yeah.
having sunshine into the evening. I like that.
But then they're like, "Oh, kids are standing in the dark in the morning." And it's like, well, most kids have to wake up super early anyways, and it's gonna
I
be dark no
know.
matter what.
Schools. Well, maybe, don't start your schools at freaking 7 a.m. I had to be in school at 7 a.m. And now I'm an
Oh, I'm
adult.
sorry. That's unfortunate. Oh my god, that's so
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, 7:20 or 7:30 is when school started.
Wow.
When did it
Like,
My
end?
school's
when the end at 2:30.
yeah,
Okay,
my
that
school
makes
was
sense.
like 8:30 to 3:30 or something.
Mine too.
Yeah, but I'm like, no matter what time of year it is, if you're gonna make school that early, it's gonna be dark. Like,
Yeah.
Beth from our program, she's the one that did research on daylight savings and how it's not as good for your body. Like they've done a lot of research about that. So I was like, okay, there is some science that says standard time is better for your body.
but it's not better for my social life. Sorry, that sounded like
I was just gonna say, I was like, yeah, it's worse, but it's better. It sounds funner.
I think in the fall it's fine. It's just in the spring when you lose an hour, that's what gets me.
I like getting the extra hour of sleep when we switch to it, though.
Yeah, gaining an hour is not so bad. Losing an hour, horrible.
Correct.
This last fall back, like spring for a fall back. Okay, the last time we went an hour back, I was at my boyfriend's house till like 1:40, something like that. And then when I arrived home, it was 1 a.m. It was so weird because it ends at 2, or it switches at 2. And so I was like driving, it was like 1:45. I got home and it was 1 a.m. Crazy.
You time traveled.
Time travel. And I've never been awake for that. And I have a friend who works a night shift, and that day he wasn't working, but I was like, man, if you were working that day, his shift would have been 1 hour less.
Wouldn't it be 1 hour more if it goes back an hour?
Oh no, sorry, 1 hour more. Yeah, his shift would have been longer. If it was in the spring, his shift would have been shorter. But man. All right, well, that's everything we have to talk about today. I hope you guys enjoyed talking to us about the holidays. Thank you, Menka, for joining us.
Absolutely.
Follow her at Learn with Menka.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. This was so much fun.
So let us know. I'm talking to all the Puerto Ricans out there. Give me your coquito recipe. Especially if you have a plant-based version. Hand it over. I want to make some.
episode of Sustainability was created by Abby Bender, Karina Taylor, and Minka Suresh. Our graphics were created by Margaret Degnan, and our music is by Maddie Foley. If you've enjoyed watching us grow this year and want to see more, please check out our Give Me a Coffee link in our website. This is a way to help support us financially as we grow and become a true, real podcast in the coming year. Thank you so much for your support, and have a happy new year.